Welcome to the Solo Edit Podcast, a podcast for estheticians looking for a weekly dose of motivation, inspiration, and honest conversations about life in and out of the treatment room. Okay, I'm really excited about today's podcast. I am welcoming Tiffany and Amber from Hermana Studio. I had the pleasure of meeting them both at one of our trainings in Ann Arbor, and I was just so taken with their brand and the identity that they've given their brand. And so I thought it would be really interesting to have them on the podcast today. So without further ado, hi, Tiffany. Hi, Amber.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
You guys co-own Hermana, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
How did you guys find each other?
So we actually used to work at Ulta together back in the day. So I was there as their prestige manager. And that was back in like 2016, I think is when I came on the team.
Yeah, about 2016. Yeah. I was the benefit brow bar expert. So I did eyebrow waxing, facial waxing, and then I worked in prestige. So I did like prestige skincare and makeup and all of that. And then she was my boss, really. So that's how we met.
When you were at Ulta, did you guys have the idea to go into business together?
No.
Oh, gosh, no. This happened over a coffee date.
Yes.
Okay. Were you at Ulta or were you guys doing different things at this point?
Yeah, we were already at different points. So I actually own Hermana, like the name legally. And so I was flying solo a little over a year. And then Amber had some changes happen and we met up for a coffee date. So I'll let her share kind of like a change that happened.
So basically, I worked at a dermatologist and then that place shut down and there was no notice, no nothing. So I came in and they're like, we're shutting the doors today. And so it was everyone's last day. And then, I just thought I would go to another medical facility. And then Tiffany reached out and we're like, just like at the kindness of her heart, reached out. We went on a coffee date and she's just, if you really want to do this, you got to go off on your own. Like you have to go off on your own.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of decided to go in it together. And then the rest is history.
Okay. So Hermana has what would you call it? She's her own being, right? Like you have a personality, an avatar. I don't know what you would actually.
Yeah. Our branding was done by somebody named Micah Vetter, which owns No Matter Brands. And she encouraged us actually when we sat down with her and built the brand from the beginning. So I was in a one-room suite. Amber was using my suite just to wax is kind of like how it started. I just wanted to offer because Amber had been doing so much waxing for so long that I was like, hey girl, like you're welcome to use my room when I'm not there. And it was just like the name. And then before we opened this, we decided, okay, if we're going to do this, we kind of need to rebrand, keep the name, but give it its thing, its opening, its launch. Yeah. So when we worked with Micah, she had us fill out so much information and she asked us what this brand would be. Like, where does it vacation? What does it do? Every down to the nook and cranny and even descriptive words. And that's kind of where Genevieve, which is our person, that's where she was built, was actually from Micah when we worked with her and did all of our branding.
I think that is so smart, right? Because it kind of takes away the ego of both business owners and you're working towards a common goal. Mm-hmm. When you were kind of building her identity, were you pretty aligned with where she would vacation and who she was?
Yeah. Micah, the person that helped build this for us, our branding, she said, when you think of Nike as a person, mm-hmm. what do you envision? And it really does come to life. And so we even created our own Pinterest board of what we thought Genevieve was, Hermana Studio as a person. And it was very similar, even our color scheme. I don't know, I just kind of brought it to life a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I know we talked about this when you came to the training, but I have such a hard time recalling things. I don't know if it's age or I don't know. But do you do the same services under one roof or there is some separation or is there no separation?
So when we first started, I was still doing bridal makeup and skin. And then I always say my lash lips and tints and some brow wax and tints are in my back pocket. But I no longer do bridal makeup, so I strictly do facials, and then lash lifts and tints and brow waxing is kind of in my back pocket. Whereas Amber has not done any bridal makeup, but she does body waxing, which, oh my gosh, I tell people all the time, you do not want me body waxing. Let's just get you on Amber's book. But outside of that, yeah, our menus when you go online, because the way that our business is set up, technically we are two different LLCs operating under the name of Hermana Studio, which is technically me. But our menus are the same, our pricing is the same, and anything that we do together, because forward facing to the client, like because we always have Genevieve in front of mine, when Genevieve gets on our website, we want her to see Hermana. We don't want her to see Tiffany or Amber. Like they see us as their providers. But essentially, we want the brand to grow, which is, again, something that came from Micah. Like she encouraged us that when people see something that's dark in color and very relaxed, things that are in arches, dark green, you want people to immediately identify that with Hermana. So everything that we did was with that intention of we want to grow Hermana, and we will grow, but the first intention is Hermana.
Yeah. The last time I saw you guys, which was not this past summer, but the summer before.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys had so many great ideas that you were sharing with the group on how you've kind of networked or gotten your name out there. One specifically, I think, was like a candle, right? That you specifically had made, and it was like your signature scent. Am I right?
Well, yeah, we didn't make the scent, but we only burned that scent. So I burnt it since I was in my one-room suite, but we just picked one. And then we actually don't sell it. People have asked us if we sell it.
We did give it away for a gift one time for Christmas, because people always asked, I love this smell. So we did it like our little mini, like the little mini candle. And then we put our brand name like over it.
Yeah.
And we did that. But we only do that scent. It's even in the bathroom, like the bathroom spray, the soap. So it's consistent. So if you smell that, you know you're at Hermana.
Right.
Because there's a place in town that I love their model of what they do. They take a percentage of the proceeds every single month and they donate to a local non-for-profit and they retail their candle there. So when people ask us, we always encourage them to shop there, because one of the underbellies of Genevieve is she is totally a support local girl. So we kill two birds with one stone because that candle is poured locally and it's sold locally.
That's awesome. You were also networking with a gym. Are you still doing that?
Yeah. Yoga Lab is a big yoga studio here in town. And I just adore the owners. I think that they are super about community, which is also something that Genevieve is very much about community. So we knew we would meet her there. And she practices regularly at the Yoga Lab, but she doesn't always remember to pack her skincare, which is kind of a lot. And she doesn't see an investment in travel size. So we thought, okay, well, we're going to just put it at the Yoga Lab for her when she gets there. And the owners there were super, super gracious and they allowed us to do that. So we've maintained it
2 years.
2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we like cross promote and I'm literally drinking their coffee this morning.
Yeah.
We're there frequently. We take our meetings there. But yeah, and people have met us that way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You have a QR code, right?
Yeah. So there's our like products there, like some products that we sell there. And then we have the ingredient list. And then we also have like our brand, a QR code. And we've literally gotten clients. I heard you from Yoga Lab, and then they'll come in and then they're lifetime clients.
Because we also put the skin routine on the wall because we knew that like Genevieve, it might be a version of her that hasn't met us yet, but she's had that question. And I think some of it too is because Amber and I both came from Ulta, we know the feeling of people being very intimidated of walking into a beauty store. And we wanted to take that away because Genevieve is a girl's girl. Like she's not gatekeeping. She wants to be your friend and help you, but she also wants you to encourage what works for you. Just because it's working for her doesn't mean it works for other people.
Yeah.
And so us putting the routine, like we do skin cards. So people leave almost with a script. We want to break everything down for them. We did that same thing and replicated that on the wall for them. So it's super, super basic. It's a post-workout routine. We wanted to tailor to the kind of workout they do. All of it with Genevieve in mind.
Yeah, I think that is so brilliant. When we talked about this, it was 1.5 years ago. So what has changed for you in the last 1.5 years? Anything? Have you found other ways to network or?
We're a rolling cart.
Oh,
our drink cart.
Rolling cart.
Tell me about it.
We got a rolling cart.
Oh, you can kind of see it back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
our drink cart.
Yeah.
And it's custom done with our logo. So we rolled out to the farmers market last year for our
anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we handed out waters and just talked to people about their skin. We were like asking people questions about their skin. That was really neat. We're going to try and do baseball this year because a lot of our clients, like their kids do baseball. So we're going to take that out. And I know last year for baseball, we gave out t-shirts for I think it was our 1 year anniversary.
Oh, our 1 year. Yeah.
And I went out to the baseball field and people had our t-shirts on. And I'm like,
That is so cool. You're like, we've made it.
yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have our t-shirts. Like some people I didn't even know. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we want to roll that out this year. Again, kind of just getting into the community and just getting to know people and then telling people about us, really.
Which is kind of funny. Our t-shirts say you got to meet my esthetician and then it has our logo on the back.
Yeah.
And this year we were talking about, we don't really sell merch. That isn't our intention. We actually take the money of like our marketing budget, if you will, and we purchase merch and we gift it to people.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we sold a crew because people asked us to, but we did it at cost because again, we take it as our marketing budget essentially. And we buy really good quality things or very meaningful things because then people want to wear them. So this year we talked about kind of finding some like ambassadors that their kiddos play baseball that see us.
Yeah.
And doing hats this year for out at the baseball field.
Yes.
And then actually asking them if we can get their kid's number somehow. I kind of almost want to do that without them knowing.
Yes.
Yeah. A little unreasonable hospitality, if you will.
Yes.
And I want to stitch their son's name and number in the hat and branded, but not like full on branded from us. You know it's from us, kind of like that.
Right,
Again, like
right.
how would you identify our brand?
Yes.
But it's personal because we want people to know that we see you, we appreciate
Right.
you, and you're a part, like we're a part of your community and we're in this together kind of a thing. It's beyond just the treatment room. Like we see you. It's very important.
So genius because you need a hat when you're out watching baseball. And then they will especially want to wear it if their kid's number is on it. So that is so smart. Who comes up with these ideas, or is it kind of
Mostly her, girl. Mostly her. I ask the questions after. So she has like lots of really cool ideas. Like she's like just so genius when it comes to this stuff.
yeah?
And then we're like, okay, but how are we going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do it? So like more like the back end of it, but she just has some cool ideas. She
I
does.
joke all the time that Amber's, we're going to come in out of unicorns. We're going to have confetti coming out of cannons. And I always say I'm so thankful because Amber brings me back down. She's okay, like, that sounds awesome. How are we going to do that? And I'm like, okay, so maybe not all of that.
It sounds like my marriage, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I feel like that's what makes it work so well is because Amber and I are very yin and yang in that regard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, we always go back to Genevieve. So
Mhm.
it's not really about me. It's not about Amber. It's about Genevieve. Like even we decorate for Christmas and we use no red in our studio. It's not on brand for us anyway. But one time we had to do a video for concept for somebody, actually for Micah who did our branding. And we joked because Amber was like, the Santa.
Yeah, we don't want to stand in here with the Hawaiian shirt. That's not the like Hermana vibe.
Genevieve would never.
Genevieve would not have a stand in a Hawaiian shirt.
Mhm.
Which no knocks you do. But Genevieve would.
I had it in my house because my son loves it. But Genevieve would. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just goes to show in that space, like that is always our intention is to go back to Genevieve because then it's not about us. And sometimes too, it feels like it takes the sting out a little bit because it's not personal. Like it's not like Tiffany's not out there. Amber's not out there. Hermana is out there.
right.
Right. Going back to your hats and then your drink cart, does Micah do that branding too? Or do you dip your toes in some of the branding when you're doing merch and stuff?
So I usually will create stuff because part of what we got when we paid for her services was almost like a branding guide. So it tells us what font to use where, what colors, like, and it's all the way down to like the specification. So even if we professionally order something, we send that over and they're like, oh, perfect. They know exactly what shade to use. It's always spot on. So it makes it kind of easy.
It's consistent throughout. Like even if I'm like in Canva or I'm making something, It's the same font all the time, the same, but Micah did that. She took the guesswork out of it. If all in caps, it's this font. If it's not all in caps, it's this font. And it makes it so much easier for us because we don't have to like, okay, what is this color kind of similar? Like it's already there. We just pick, I think we have 6 colors or something like that to choose from. And that's it.
Yeah. And it also tells us like where to use what coloring. And I think 2 of the best things that I learned from paying for the branding and investing in it was, one, she talked about how actually our social media, like she said, it's like a danger zone when you go into Canva because there's a huge layout of all these things and they look really pretty. But when we incorporate our branding, which just happens a lot, I'm like, that doesn't work because it's not our branding. That she's realistically, you don't want a million different versions of it. Right. You want to stay on pace for what is Hermana. And it quiets the room because I don't feel like I'm looking on social media to replicate what other people are doing. We're just doing what we know because it works for our brand.
Right.
And we are for anyone, but we're not for everyone. And that's okay because we're going to find Genevieve and they're going to find us. Like they're going to love what we do. And then she also talks about, she goes really in depth about this, but she talks about pillars. And I know Amber mentioned like Nike, but there's like an identifier that she talks about. So like, for example, if you're the jokester, like she always talks about this one, the jokester can be somebody who like does a lot of silly stuff. There plays on words. It's like, it's got this like kind of comedy behind it. She explains it way better than I do. I'm probably not even doing it justice, but like that would not fall under Hermana. It's not to say that we're not funny and you meet us in person and whatever, but it's not one of the pillars of our brand. Mm-hmm. So when she helped us find the pillar of our brand, again, like when we go back to doing the hats or doing, you know, different things, like it falls under that pillar. So then I know like I'm on pace of what I should be doing. And then it gives me freedom within that without feeling overwhelmed, which is nice.
Yeah. Branding definitely is an investment, but to your point, it does help simplify things. It helps keep you on track. And branding is a very important aspect of having a well-received business for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Money.
Especially in our industry.
Yeah. I tell people all the time when people ask me about our branding, I'm like, oh my gosh,
it's so worth it.
Just go to No Matter Brands, talk to Micah. She's worth every penny.
Yeah.
And there's other brands that she's done like locally or like outside of here. And you can always tell when somebody, like now I pay attention. I'm like,
I can tell who's done it.
Yes.
I can tell. Like
and even
I can look and I'm like, that's Micah. I can tell.
Yeah. Or even just in general, when I see bigger brands now, I'm like, yep, I get it. I can see it. Like you're just in tune to it. I think the biggest investment for me was it quieted the room because before it just felt really loud. Like we had to do what everyone else was doing. And that's not the goal.
Yeah. I think that, you know, if you can put blinders on and just focus on what you're doing, it really not just simplifies things, but it helps you stay on brand. I'll never forget, and I'm trying to remember who said this, but she was saying when you are so consumed with what other people are doing, like other businesses, you start to become more like them because you are trying to keep up. And then you lose sight of your brand's identity, which ultimately impacts, you know, will negatively impact you. So keeping those blinders on is really important. So I feel like you guys are really great at networking and getting out within the community. I mean, you've said it yourself that you are like pro small business. You seem very in tune with what's happening in your community. I think one of the things I've been trying to share more with our community in general is just like the importance of networking with other businesses to insulate your business, right? Because we all experience ebbs and flows, and a lot of the things that impact businesses we don't necessarily have control over, which can be like political, economic, whatever. Mm-hmm. So what are some ways that you have found connecting with other local businesses has helped Genevieve grow? And then also, quick question, do your customers know about Genevieve?
Only if we told them. Or even like today, like I was telling a client, I was like, oh, actually, we're doing a podcast today. And he was like, you are? I'm like, yeah. I was like, just kind of explaining like how like we're 2 separate LLCs, but we're one brand. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, we're 2 technically, like we're separate LLCs. And he's been a client of mine, forever. And he's been coming here for however long we've been together. And he was like, I had no clue. I'm like, that's the point. I don't want you to know. So, but yeah, Genevieve, we've briefly talk about it, but it's not, we tell every client.
Well, and some clients were like, just so you know, you are like the live version of Genevieve, like down to when I tell you, like, it sounds kind of weird, but when you create your person, we know how much money she makes, what kind of car is she driving, where does she vacation? We know her pretty well. But it's kind of funny that people don't know that, because even our retail that we sell, it looks replicated, but unique in its own way. And so they're like two side by side, but they look like almost replicated. And people don't know that
one side's hers and one side's mine.
And that was the goal, right? The goal was we want to grow Hermana. And it's amazing to see how profitable our business has been and how much we grow. Like our CPA tells us all the time, it's amazing, like how quickly you guys have grown and done things. But I think that's because we stayed true to our brand. That was the intention. And again, like we wanted to find a specific person because we knew that we would be a good fit for them and what they were looking for. A lot of times people that come to us, they're in a frustrated state, right? And they feel like, I'm just looking for answers. And so when they find us, I think there's a relief there. Whereas if we were trying to market ourselves as something we weren't, we would just add to their frustration. And we don't want to do that.
Okay, back to my original question about networking and like just the positive impacts you have seen on your business in, immersing yourself with the community.
I don't think I realized how important community was until I came here. I came from very corporate world where they're like, we'll just put an ad out on the radio or we'll put an ad out on Facebook. But being here, like really Tiffany has taught me, like, we've got to get out there. And I haven't even heard of the yoga lab before Tiffany. And now I'm like, I drink a coffee from them all the time. And like, we've gotten to know the owners. And like, even for Christmas, it was just fun. We put together a spray. It's really good for after workouts. And we put it in like this beautiful box. And then every employee got one from us.
I love that.
And it was just so cool that we can connect and talk to people. And now when we go in there, we're like, hey, like we know people. And then it's also a lot of cross references too. It's like we send people there and they send people here. But honestly, that wasn't even the goal. It was genuine, like just wanting to know and support other small businesses. And it just kind of turned into that.
Yeah, it unintentionally has a ripple, right? Because
it does.
You gave that gift or you give the time of getting to know them, and then they will naturally want to tell others about you, their clients, whoever. And that's how you build advocates for your business.
Well, and that was kind of the point, was it's almost give them something to talk about. And so I think I shared it in the Facebook group about the Christmas gifts. Like we custom did them with, still had our logo, but we put like post Shavasana spray because it was like particular to them. The year before that, we put together mini travel skincare kits for another coffee shop that we love because apparently we can't get enough lattes in town. It was local too. And we actually found them through the person who did our branding is how we found that coffee shop. And we don't post on social media about it. If they share it, that's great. But we do not do that because that's not our intention. So we are very particular about that. And so we walked in and we gave them these like beautiful Christmas boxes with skin routines. Now, I walked in the other day to get coffee and she's like, hey, Tiffany, I'm thinking about my spring menu for coffee. What do you think? Like just that relationship that you have, it just changes things. And then I pour a lot into a local junior high that my husband works at. And so we do a popcorn bar for Christmas. This year we took our drink cart and we filled it with pop. But the popcorn that we get is actually a local popcorn shop.
So good.
It's phenomenal. It's so good. We love a good Donnie B's run. But the teachers were like so thankful. And same, it reciprocates business. Even if not them, I've had people show up and they're like, I've never really gotten a facial before, but that was really kind what you did. And we've gotten thank you cards back. And there is our local YWCA from people that have gotten to know us. They do a teal chair for women for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we host a chair for them, just things like that. Like even in regards to like important things that are happening in the business that we own and being women, right? We're honored that people trust us with that. And this year I got to speak on a panel for That's What She Said, which is like a local show. They choose women on the panel to speak. And I was very vulnerable and talked about my daughter being special needs and what that was like. It had nothing to do with business. But from that, people have met me, and just that honesty about what it was like raising a special needs child and the challenges and the overcoming. And we show up in our community beyond just the business. We just show up as Tiffany and Amber, and we happen to own Hermana. And you see it through and through. It just weave through who we are. So,
Yeah.
And then showing up at the baseball field. That's just Amber being a mom, living at the baseball field for the summer. But they see us, right? That's genuinely who we are.
And it feels, I would imagine, well, I know it feels more genuine that way too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think automatically makes others want to support you even more.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you kind of see Hermana or Genevieve in the next few years? Do you have plans to expand or?
So we have 2.5 years left of the contract here. So, we've thought, okay, how are we going to grow this? We've had all sorts of ideas. Do we have another room and then rent that space out? We dabbled with, should we get a nutritionist? Should we get a massage person? Do they just pay rent to us? We've dabbled all sorts of things. We have time. We have 2.5 years. But yeah, it's exciting, where it can go. And even from the beginning of how much we've grown just in the past 2.5 years, we don't talk about numbers a ton with one another, but when we do, we're growing.
Yeah.
It's good. It's growing and it's good. And yeah, and that's what you want. So yeah.
I think also just asking, we try to listen to our clients and what they're asking for. What is Genevieve looking for? So sometimes we've shared dreams of possibilities with clients that have been with us for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we share, they're like, ooh, let me know when that's coming. And we're like, these are just things we're considering. But listening to her and what she's asking for, one of the big things I'm sure most estheticians can relate to is we have people literally in tears over acne in our treatment room. I think that there is such a place for derms, right? Because there just is. But a lot of people come to us from situations where they feel lots of prescriptions and lots of very quick visits, and they just want to be heard. So I think a lot of times we've considered that, how do we help Genevieve, maybe her daughter or her sister, feel heard? Because Genevieve recommended us and we want to be able to solve that problem for her. So I think just even thinking about that, where can we grow that solves a problem? We don't want to grow in something that's trendy and just right now. There are certain things that are in our industry that we're oh, that's really cool, but that's not us. So that's not what we're trying to solve. And it's great because it gives permission for us to niche down and specialize in this thing. And we always say there's so much room at the table for so many that when somebody else does a thing that we were that wasn't in our lane, but they do beautifully, it's amazing to be able to recommend another esthetician. Because I feel when we do that, or at least for me, I know people will kind of look at me weird. Well, you don't do that. You're not going to, it's it's a missed opportunity financially. And I'm
yeah,
but it's not.
You want to do what's right to the
Yeah. And
yeah.
It's going to be a very short-lived thing. It's like waxing. Could I technically pick it up? Yes. Will you love me in the end? No.
Yeah.
You should have booked with Amber.
Yeah.
One time when we were at training, we went to dinner and we were talking about this. We're okay, let's think about Genevieve. She is going to her son's wedding and she wants to look phenomenal, drop dead gorgeous, because, maybe her ex-husband's showing up with his new wife and there's just a little insecurity in there, and that's okay. That's all right. Do we have any business doing said service? Is she really going to love and feel that was quality money well spent? If the answer is probably not, I have no business whatsoever adding that to my menu. The answer is no.
Yeah. And that also helps with client retention, right? Because clients coming in, if they're receiving a service and it's subpar, obviously they won't want it again. But they also can read our energy. So they know when we're not fully enjoying what we're doing or invested in, the treatment that we're providing. So being able to focus on what brings you joy is really important. And, maybe this comes from a privileged place to say this, but But even when I was like, had my skincare studio, and even now with what we do, and it's always important to look at your numbers, right? Because after all, we are a business.
Right.
But my main goal is never what are the numbers or what is our goal in the end? Like, what number do we want to meet at the end of the year?
Right.
It's always, are we still happy? Are we still enjoying ourselves? Because that's first and that's foremost, and the money comes after. I don't know. I think it's really important to find what you like to do and do it. And clients definitely feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I know Amber will share often about like retail before having to sell. I feel like that was an eye-opener for me too.
It was. Like, I feel like before where it was, this is a brand that we're selling. You have to sell. Like, we had very like high goals. Like, you had to sell 10 of this product this month, and I'm like, but they don't need that, and it was very eye-opening for me. And then coming here, it just felt like such a weight lifted off that I'm like, I'm going to recommend stuff specifically for this person, what they need. And I honestly think that's why it has grown so much, is that it's true, it's genuine. Like, I would never tell you something that I don't think you need or want, or if I'm not good at it, you know what I mean? And I think that our clients really respect that, and they can see that, and that we're super genuine with what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I can feel it just in our conversation, like from today. And like when I met you both, like it's very clear that you know the direction that you want to go in. I mean, it can always change, right? Or you try something and you don't realize that's not what you were thinking, or you didn't want that outcome. But you guys definitely have a good grasp on what you're doing. And I think for me, I really do think a lot of it comes down to you kind of removed your egos and you're like working towards what's best for Genevieve, which I think is so cool.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep you any longer because I know you guys are super busy, but I always like to ask if somebody was listening and they are struggling, either getting new clients, feeling burnt out, or just trying to find their place in aesthetics, what's one piece of advice that you would give? And maybe it's more than one. I don't know.
I would say do what you love. Even a menu, you don't have to fit in with everybody else. You don't have to have this huge menu. If you only like to do 4 different things and you're really, really good at it and you really, really love it, you can do that and you can grow from that. You can do that and you can grow from that. And I feel like I've learned a lot with that. I don't want to do certain things. I don't like to do it. And I think other people are better than me with it. So if you just stick with what you love, I think you will feel less burnout. You will love coming to work. You'll love what you do. And then you don't feel like you're on that comparison train as much.
That's great.
100%.
Yeah.
And just investing in that. If you're falling in love with it, invest in it. Pay the money, go to training where it's valuable. Don't just do what's trending. Really do the time to take the research for sure. I'd probably say the other part of that is find your bench. There's people like, yes, we're in community and yes, we know people, but there's a bench. And there's people that I know that I can call on that are not just in the aesthetics world, but just even encouragers or people that are going to challenge me to grow. I think that community part is so important because unfortunately in our industry, a lot of times it can be very competition over community. But if you stand on business of I am community over competition, you will find your people and it becomes less draining because you don't feel like you're on an island. And so just find your bench, find your people that are going to be in your corner and support what you're doing. And not everybody will. And that's totally fine. Amber said, if you're living in what you love, what difference does it make? It's what you love doing. And the people that know you and support you, they're going to encourage you in that.
I love that. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you for taking time out of, what day is it? I don't even know what day it is. Monday? Your busy Monday to meet with me. And I sincerely hope that we cross paths again. I really enjoyed our time together and seriously appreciate you coming on today.
We say all the time, Sarah, we just appreciate what you do. I think what you're building is kind of phenomenal. We say all the time, like, email marketing, we were not great at it. I'm not going to lie. This year has been a year where we're starting to do that. And the reason why was because of what you guys do.
Yeah.
Amber was like, we get emails all the time from brands
Yes.
and we don't always open them, but we're
Yeah.
always curious what you're sending out.
If we get an email from you, we're like, like looking at it, and like you make it a way where we get excited.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not information overload, it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why we so appreciate you and the brand, and we think you're doing phenomenal.
Yeah. And we're eager to share with other estheticians, like, just jump on and be a part of this community. The Facebook group is not like other esthetician groups, which is wild, but it's just a joy to see. And I think, like we even said too, like, you could see even in our ordering and our numbers this year of what we chose to bring on and chose to be in our treatment room and trust in our clients' routines was because of what you guys are doing. So I just appreciate that because it's refreshing and we don't get a lot of it. And so all the little nooks and crannies, things in our orders and little marketings and emails, and please keep them coming.
Yeah,
because
you do great.
In Illinois, we are loving it for sure and we want it. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. I often wonder who's just deleting the emails or
no.
So that makes me feel good. Thank you.
We're saving them and then going over monthly meetings. We're like, did you see what Sarah was talking about?
You know what? That's so funny. I have a folder in my Gmail where I save like emails that I'm just inspired by, which I never thought I would be that person.
Yeah.
But because I've seen the power of email marketing, I do. And generally it's smaller brands. It's not Nike. It's not, it's like brands that I feel like I'm invested in a little bit, that I have like a relationship with a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're right. I just delete, unsubscribe. But if I know the person or I feel that connection, then I just stay subscribed. Even if I don't always read them, I still stay. Because I'm like, maybe, I don't want to stop because maybe they'll send me something that I want to see. So, well, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, Sarah.
Thank you.